Yogis, welcome to your Maya flow practice with me today. Today's practice, we are beginning in a comfortable seat, a Sukhasana or a hero pose, and we're looking to have the hips elevated. So if you would like to reach for a bolster, a block, a couple of pillows, something to assist in getting those hips a little higher and allowing in your seat for the knees to drape. Ensure the shins are supported and the knees are supported. So if you're a little tight in your seat today, feel free to fold up some blankies and place them underneath the shins or the knees to support, or maybe even a couple of blocks underneath each knee. And as you settle into your comfortable seat, I'd like to take this moment to introduce you to today's practice. Today's practice is the fullness of time with the goddess Kālī. And Kālī is known as the goddess of time, creation, destruction, and the entire process of. And so we often link her with the number 3, the numerology and the power and the energy behind 3. And so we will be opening today's practice with a skull shining breath, or Kapalabhati. Before we step straight into that, to begin stoking that internal fire and creating that union of these cycles, I want you to close down the eyes and turn the palms down, extending them the lengths of your legs. And draw the chin just a little into chest, elongating the spine and sending the crown to open to the sky. With the eyes closed down, begin drawing an inhale through your nose and releasing the exhale out of your nose. And flowing with your natural breath with this inhale and exhale out of the nose. Finding that union and that connection and that attention to the breath, assisting you to find yourself arrived in this present moment. And continuing with your breath, know that when we take our Kapalabhati, our skull shining breath, it very closely relates to the goddess of time, Kālī. And Kālī is the Shakti energy, the feminine creative energy. And she, as with all of our energies, have both positives and negatives, and she has that masculine side to her too. Her masculine side being Kala. And Kala in Sanskrit relates or translates to time. And so when we work with Kālī, we're working with that fullness of time in the entire cycle. And of course that incorporates those 3 components: our creation or birth, life, here, now, this present moment, and death or destruction. And Kālī is known as the one who wears black, or the dark one. And so wearing my black today, embodying that fullness of time, creation, life, destruction, we float through and lean into Kālī, embracing her and embodying her. And staying with your breath for just a couple more rounds, but release the palms from the knees. And I want you to draw the fingertips to your skull and begin connecting and giving yourself a little head massage through the front, the forehead, through the top, the crown, the back of the head, and just noticing any little pressure points that need a little extra love today. And with the eyes still closed down and the chin still drawn into chest, as you connect your fingertips to your skull, know that Kapalabhati, our skull shining breath, also referred to as Ego Eradicator. comes from, or the history of that is the Kapala component, is one of the things that Kali has in her left hand. And she's known as that goddess that has the four hands. And in her left hand, or in one of her two left hands, she's holding a skull, a human head. And when Kali embraces that and holds that human head, that's symbolic of, or it signifies the human ego. And the Kapala is the skull or skull cup that's made from the human head. And we need to slain the human head to be able to eradicate the ego. And as we begin eradicating our ego, to take us that little closer to moksha, liberation, releasing the fingertips from the head, and release the palms back down to the knees. Our breath takes us that little closer to enlightenment. Let's take an inhale and sweep the sky, hands overhead, find prayer for a moment. Exhale, draw hands into the chest. And from here, blink open the eyes and take the hands out on a 45-degree angle. You're taking the palms to face the front of the room and releasing the four fingers down to connect to our Venus mound, the meaty part of the palm, and then taking the thumbs to the sky. Just like a good old thumbs up for the ego, you're good to go. With the arms extended and our shoulders activated, the support here around our chest, our back and our shoulders, an important component of our ego eradicator. We're taking 3 rounds today, symbolic of those cycles of time, and we'll take 30 breaths with each round. Between each round, taking a pause. We'll take 3 clearing breaths to begin. Inhale deeply through the nose. Release it out of the mouth. 2 more breaths. Inhale. Open the mouth. Exhale. 1 more clearing breath. Open the mouth. Exhale. Inhale to your 30 pumping breaths from the belly. Inhale. Forceful exhale from the belly. Inhale, stay and hold, or if you're already beginning to increase in temperature, release your jacket, your jumper. Increasing that fire, eradicating the ego. Eyes still closed down. Let's connect to our second round. Inhale through the nose, eradicating 30 breaths. Inhale. Exhale and sit in stillness. If you're already beginning to feel some tingling sensations, maybe a little lightheaded, rest assured it's completely natural and expected with our ego eradicator, releasing the layers, the Maya, the illusion of your strength, of your fearlessness. The energy of Kālī arriving to you now. Final round. Inhale. And 30 breaths. Inhale. And slowly exhale, and ever so slowly releasing the arms. Palms turned down, chin drawn into the chest. We stay in stillness. Our birth that creation, our life, bringing us into the present moment via the breath. And can you sense that destruction, that heat, that fire of our skull shining breath here in the destruction? Yogis, you have arrived into the present moment. Let's begin our flow into the fullness of time. Blink open the eyes, take a roll of the shoulders, remove yourself from your support of the bolster, and you won't be coming back to that one until the end of your practice for support for your savasana. So you can take that off the mat and walk yourself to the top of your mat. Feet shoulder width apart. Spreading the toes nice and wide. Roll of the shoulders, palms to the front to find your Tadasana. With the eyes closed down once more, we settle into this moment of stillness and finding each four corners and four edges of your feet connected to the mat. We'll take the hands nice and wide as you inhale and reach to the sky. Today, your prayer, your palms meet and draw into the chest, and we'll be working with the Kālī mudra, releasing the fingers to a bind and hold the index fingers to extend like a Charlie's Angel gun. Our Kālī mudra today from the chest. We inhale and connect to her here from your heart. We'll slowly draw right knee into the chest and then take a tilt, extending it back, reaching the length of that right leg, toes pointing towards the back of the room, and draw it back into the chest. Sole of the foot reaching for the mat. So let's take it to the left, rocking the weight into the right. Inhale. Stork pose unassisted. Exhale, taking your tilt, finding your warrior three, your Dakasana with your Kālī mudra, pointing the toes to the back of the room, finding an active leg. Inhale, draw knee back into the chest and plant that foot once more. Kālī to the sky, inhale. Release her and swan dive down, pivoting at the pelvis, feeling each component and the fullness of time as you find your fingertips to the mat or to the shins. Let's halfway lift. Exhale, fold it down. Stepping back with the right. And sinking nice and low into the hips, stepping back with the left. Plank pose. And drop the knees and find your 8-point plank. Ripple through for your baby cobra. Drawing shoulder blades together, opening through the collarbones, the chest, and tuck the toes, and draw it all the way back to your Balasana, your child's pose. Your Balasana, your home base, and so aptly named child's pose. That is as it is your beginning, your creation. Let's inhale and find that tabletop. Release the knees, plank pose. Right leg to lead, stepping in between hands. Left foot to follow. Halfway lift. Fold it down, your forward fold, your Uttanasana. Sweeping the sky, we draw to rise. Take the hands wide. Find prayer. And exhale, drawing that Kālī mudra back into the chest. So beautiful. One full round, 3 rounds total. Right knee to rise, round 2, stork pose. Exhale, your Dakasana. Shooting the toes to the back of the room, finding the hips squared off here. Take the tilt and rise, knee into chest. And plant the right foot down. Left knee, we drive. Send it back. Your warrior 3. Inhale, rise. And planting that left foot back to the mat. Inhale, Kālī to the sky. Release and swan dive. One full long exhale here. Hands to shins or the mat, halfway lift, long spine here. Exhale, ripple down, hands to the mat, step it back, right foot. Pelvis sinks low in your lunge. Left foot, step it back. Drop the knees. 8-point plank. Elbows stay nice and close to the body as you ripple through and open those collarbones and press into the hands and take it back to your child's pose. Inhale to rise. Release the knees, plank pose. Right leg to the top of the mat. Follow with the left. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold it down. Yogis, you have one more round. Inhale, reach to rise. Take it wide. And Kālī connects. Connection to your heart. Right knee into chest. Center to the back of the mat. Staying high in your Dakasana. Hips squared off. Inhale. Your stalk. Left foot. Knee to chest. Send it back. Dakasana. Inhale, rise. Set it down. Kālī to the sky. Release and dive. Maybe hands, fingertips to the mat this time. Halfway lift. Exhale, step it back. Inhale. Exhale, step it back. Knees to the mat, inhale. Exhale, lower. Inhale here. Exhale, ripple through. Inhale. Exhale takes you back, your child's pose. So beautiful. Yogis, let's close out this final warm-up round as you ripple through your tabletop. Release the knees, plank pose. Stay for a breath. Right foot steps in, top of the mat. Sink those hips low. Left foot steps in. Planting those feet shoulder width apart. Let's halfway lift. And exhale, fold it down. Inhale, reach to rise. Find the prayer and draw hands into heart center for your Kālī. We'll stay here for 3 breaths, and if you feel called, take a gentle rock and sway, checking back in with your connectedness to the mat, feeling into that grounding your feet have, feeling back into your breath, and feeling into your Kālī mudra. Your breath bringing you to the present moment. It's so beautiful, yogis. Find stillness and settle, and with the toes connected, gently blink open the eyes. And we'll take Kālī mudra to the sky. Release her and take your swan dive. Maybe now fingertips finding the mat. Let's halfway lift. And take that step back on the right. Sinking down nice and low in your lunge, and we'll frame that left foot with the hands. You might take a little pulsing through the pelvis to invite an opening of hip flexor and glutes. We're taking a cyclical flow today to find that connection to our creation, the present moment, and destruction. Those full 3 cycles. As you sink down a little deeper into the pelvis, let's drop that back knee. Untuck the toe, become light into the fingertips, and we'll sweep to rise. And coming back this time to your Kālī mudra here in your Anjaneyasana. And as you find Kālī, we'll sink down into the pelvis and open our heart. Gentle back bend here. Taking the gaze to the sky. From here, shoot her high. Release and take it wide. Swan diving down. And fingertips to plant on the mat. Let's release that back toe, knee nice and high, and step it in. Hands to the mat or the shins, halfway lift. Exhale, find your fold, maybe taking the hands to the backs of the calves now. Inhale, halfway lift. Left foot steps back, all the way back of the mat. Frame that right foot, sink low into the pelvis. And that little pulsing sensation, that invitation to arrive, to open. And maybe you take it up and down or the lengths of the mat. Listening to your hips and seeing what they need today. And settle into stillness and drop that back knee. Untuck the toe, light into the fingertips. Anjaneyasana, we rise. And find your Kālī connection, your Kālī mudra. And exhale, sink down into the hips. As you sink down into your Anjaneyasana, we're keeping at least that 90-degree bend through the front knee. So if you have shortened at all, feel free to walk up forwards. And as you settle here in the hips, inhale. And prepare to open on the exhale into that back bend, gazing to the sky. Inhale, Kālī, shoot her high. Exhale, release. Taking the hands to frame that right foot. Release the back knee and take it to the top of the mat. So good. Halfway lift. Exhale, fold it down. Let's inhale and rise. Hips getting a little warmer, reaching to the sides. Straight back in, reverse swan dive. Exhale. And fingertips to the mat halfway. Right foot steps back. Frame left foot. Sink the pelvis nice and low. Stay for a breath. Let's drop that back knee once more. Releasing the back toe. So beautiful. Sweep to rise. Exhale, find your Kālī. This time as you inhale and take her to the back of the room. We're going to draw it back into your chest. And then find right elbow all the way outside that left knee. For a parivrita, a twist, a rotation of the spine, staying in that Kālī. And gazing over left shoulder, checking back in with the hips, and you can come back to that little pumping sensation. And pressure here, meeting in the present moment. Your left, your feminine side, your Shakti, your creation. And Kālī here, in the center of it all. Your right, the pressure, the load. Your Shiva, that masculine energy. So beautiful. Draw it back to center. Release it to the sky. Take it wide. So beautiful. Releasing that back knee. Oh, how's the hips? Step it in. Inhale, yogis, we halfway lift. Exhale, fold it down. Inhale, halfway lift. Fingertips meet the mat, and we'll take it nice and low once more, this time closing out on the left side, framing that right foot, sink it low in the pelvis. Stay for a breath. And dropping into that back knee. Untuck the toes, release the hands, sweep to the sky. Your Kālī draws into the chest, sink it down. Inhale, take it to the sky. Sink it nice and low. And draw it back into the chest and take it across the body. Left elbow outside that right knee, that rotation as you gaze over the right shoulder now. So lovely. As you inhale, create some space for the ribs, the low belly. And as you exhale, you release with that distraction. Let's draw it back to center. And shoot it up to the sky, and then release her hands to the mat. Let's release that back knee, step it in, and begin picking up the pace just a little. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold it down, and let's reach to the sides of the room to rise. So beautiful, yogis. Reverse swan dive. Exhale. Hands to the mat, halfway lift. Exhale, fold it down and step it back with that right foot, sinking low into the hips, but knees stay nice and high this time. Take it wide with the hands, we draw to rise. Now high lunge this time. And Kālī at the center, we sink down into our lunge, checking in with that alignment of that front knee, 90-degree bend, staying soft with the back knee. Let's take Kālī to the sky. Inhale. Exhale, bring her back into the heart. Tilt it forwards, right knee outside left elbow. Take your rotation. Stay for a breath. Inhale, back to center. Shoot her to the sky. And this time as you release hands to the mat, we're stepping it back with the left foot and dropping into your 8-point plank or your full chaturanga. Inhale, rise, maybe your baby cobra. Or now invite a full cobra. Elbows stay nice and soft. That child's pose we found earlier. Hips back towards the heels. Maybe forehead meets the mat. Inhale, let's rise, release the knees. And step it in with the right. And step it in with the left. Halfway lift. Exhale, fold it down. And take the hands wide and rise. Let's bring that to the left side, straight back in. Reverse swan dive. Halfway. Exhale, left leg steps back. Sinking the hips low. Reach it to rise. Connect to Kālī. We sink in. Inhale, take Kālī to the sky. Exhale, back into the heart and take that twist. Left elbow outside right knee. Gaze over the right shoulder. One breath. Inhale, bring it back to the heart. Inhale, take her to the sky. Release it wide. And fingertips framing that right foot. Step it back, plank pose. Stay for the inhale. Exhale, we lower. Inhale, we rise. Exhale, draw it back. Your balasana. Inhale, ripple, rise, tuck the toes. And step it in, right foot. Step it in with the left and we halfway lift. Exhale, fold it down. Inhale to rise. Yogis, we're taking that 3 times through. Reverse swan dive and we draw it back to the right with each round. There's no need to increase in pace. We're looking to link in, sink in, and create a connection as you find your flow. And Kālī to the heart. Flowing with the asana, the posture, to link in with your breath. Exhale into the chest and take your rotation. Inhale, gaze over that left shoulder. And bring it back to center. Find your balance, the fearlessness of Kālī. Exhale, release. Step it back on the left and find your vinyasa. Maybe slowly progressing with each of these rounds as you find some warmth within the body. And some fluidity in your breath. Some fluidity amidst your postures. Exhale, fold it down. Let's reach to rise. Hands to connect, reverse swan dive straight back in. Left side, halfway. And drop it back, left foot steps back of the mat. Sink the hips, release it, take it to the sky. Exhale, we melt and find that beautiful high lunge with Kālī. Take her to the sky. Exhale, draw her into your chest, your heart. Left elbow outside right knee, take your rotation. Back into your center. Inhale to the sky. Release. Take the hands wide, frame right foot, step it back, and take your vinyasa. Inhale. Exhale, draw it back, child's pose. Yogis, as you continue with your flow, we have one final round here. And before we begin putting this together with our Kālī Mudra and where we begun in our full cycle. And so as you take your reverse swan dive, I invite you to close down the eyes and don't focus so much on the alignment today. Don't focus so much on the individual postures, but that flow of time, that flow through time, and your connection to that final round, maybe opening and finding flight here. Just for a breath, exhale, draw it back in Kālī, find center. Inhale. Exhale, take it to the mat. Step it back and wash it off. And maybe finding your full up dog now. And drawing it back, your balasana. And let's take it to the left, your last side. Halfway lift. Exhale, fold it down. Reach it wide to rise. Reverse swan dive, we fold, we fall. Halfway. Left leg steps back. Sink it low. Reach and rise. Kālī, we sink. Shoot it to the sky. Draw it into the heart. Take your tilt. Left elbow outside, right knee gaze over the right shoulder. Maybe stay and find full flight here. One breath. Spreading your wings. Draw it back into the chest. Find center. Inhale, rise. Release the hands. Frame right foot. Step it back. Inhale. Lower on the exhale. Inhale, rise. Cobra or up dog. And draw it back, this time restorative balasana, as you take your hands with you and place the backs of the hands by the feet. And as you find these few counts of breath here in stillness, often it's not in the creative phase or even when we're in the moment of life. Often it's not even when things are turning black, fading, falling, and going through that process of death do we realize, until we can take these moments in between to step back and see that full cycle. Those three phases and the fullness of time. Take one more inhale, and as you draw that breath in, and take the breath of creation, feel it fill your cells. Take this moment of pause in this present moment and sense it within your body, against your thighs. Open your mouth and release, distracting any of the stored energy that you are retaining that needs to die to create the space to begin again. And gently walking or running the fingertips back up the mat to find your seat in your hero pose. And just a couple more postures to sink into our flow today. Yogis, from your hero, rise out of your seat, find your hands on the mat, release the knees. We're slowly going to find our way back to the top of the mat and take as many little walks as you need. Feet shoulder width apart. And this time let's unravel the spine, slowly drawing to find your Tadasana. Take a roll of the shoulders, palms to face the front. Stay one full round of breath. Come back to that connection with the four corners of your feet. Let's sweep the hands wide. Inhale. This time we find our Kālī here. Draw her into the chest. That right knee draws in your stork pose. And we'll set it back in your Dakasana as you take your pivot at the pelvis, inviting heart to the mat, shooting those right toes back towards the end of the mat. Now you can stay here. We're here for 3 rounds of breath, or take an extension with the arms. Wherever you are, hands at heart center or the extension of Kālī, we slowly invite that right foot back to meet the mat. Inhale, draw it straight to the sky. And taking that back bend. Now find her at your heart center, taking your pivot. Right elbow outside, left knee. Inhale, open. Inhale, open and find your flight, releasing Kālī. Exhale, draw it back in. We'll pivot back and take it to the sky once more. And this time as you release and take it wide, rather than taking the hands to the mat, you're going to go beyond the mat and sweep it overhead. Rotate that right foot and shoot the fingertips to the back of the mat, sinking down into a Skandasana here on the right. Left leg's extending, toes are to the sky. And then run the hands the length of the mat and plant. Step it back. Chaturanga. Up dog. Take it back. Balasana. Inhale, rise. And tuck the toes. And step it in. Or take a bunny hop, top of the mat. We halfway lift. Now exhale, fold. Shoot it to the sides of the room. We rise. Find your Kālī. Draw her into the chest, left knee to rise. Take it back to Kasana. Stay here 3 breaths. Or take your extension, reaching and Kālī and extending and offering her forward. Slowly planting that left foot back of the mat, Kālī to the sky. Gentle back bend. Exhale. Humble bow. Left elbow outside, right knee. Rotate, take it to the sky. Open, spread your wings and fly. Exhale. And draw it back. And find your center. Inhale, rise and shoot her to the sky. And this time as you release her and take that wide circle, we float the hands beyond the top of the mat. We shoot it overhead, rotating that left foot and taking it all the way to the back of the mat. Right toes this time draw to rise, sinking into your Skandasana, floating all the way back, top of the mat. Step it back and take your flow. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, rise. And plank pose, step it in or bunny hop it. You have 1 more time each side. Inhale, we rise. Right knee draws into chest. Exhale, Kālī to the heart, shoot it back. Inhale, extend it forwards. And plant the right foot and rise. Exhale, into heart, humble bow. Right elbow outside, left knee, fly. Exhale, back into heart center. We rise. Release and find that full cycle, a cyclical flow, all the way to the back of the mat. Skandasana, and floating to the top. And step it back and take your vinyasa. And child's pose. Inhale. Warrior eyes. Halfway. And exhale, fold it down. Sweep to the sky. Left knee draws into chest. Kālī to the heart. Udakasana. And step it back. Left foot meets the mat. Draw to rise. Gentle back bend. And draw her into the heart. Your humble bow. And your twist. Inhale to open. Exhale back to the heart. Inhale to rise. And this time our release takes us that full cycle for the last time. As you float and flow through time, beyond the back of the mat, and experience the fullness of time. Plant the hands, step it back, and enjoy your final vinyasa. Inhale, rise. Exhale and set it back. Taking a walk with the hands. Rest the forehead. And release the backs of the hands. The forearms to the mat. And Kālī, here to be your strong, fearless leader in times where we want to hold on and don't want to let go, or we feel into fear of stepping into that next moment, what's ahead of us in time. And the beauty and the joy and the bliss, enlightenment and liberation, our moksha, comes from not holding on at any one point, but realizing the cyclical nature of life. And slowly release the forehead from the mat and draw back to your hero's pose. Yogis, we're going to take the hands to the mat and take a rotation here of the pelvis, inviting the hips to the mat and extending the legs. And from your seat, from your dandasana, let's plant the fingertips beside the pelvis and draw the spine nice and tall, crown to the sky. And taking a sweep nice and wide as you inhale and draw to rise. Let's come back and connect to Kālī. As you pivot forwards without the need to hold on at any one point. We're not holding on literally and physically to the knees, the ankles, the soles of the feet, the toes. Simply bowing down. And you can stay here if you'd like to add a little extra love, pour a little extra love into Kālī today. Take an extension of the hands overhead, bow the head a little heavier. And wherever you are, let's inhale and draw to rise, finding your seats extended. Release the hands, sweeping them wide once more. Allow them to slowly guide you back. And if you know you like to take a bolster beneath the knees for your savasana, reach for that now, placing it just in the crease, allowing your hamstrings and your calves to rest. Otherwise, find your full corpse pose with me today. Your corpse pose, so symbolic of that cycle, the cyclical nature. And with the arms out extended, the palms open, ready to receive this moment, this full cycle. Our corpse pose, our savasana, the beautiful dark space that we rest in, and the goddess of darkness is not one to be feared, for she is fearless. And she embraces you at the end of each day with open arms and allows the day to die. Allows the closing, the ending of your stories from the day. All with such strength, all with that fearless nature to create space, ready for you to create once more. And yogis, if you are practicing at home and you are blessed with excess time, please hit pause now. And the more time that you can honor this beautiful space of stillness, the more time that you can devote to this destruction, the closer we arrive to moksha. And yogis, keeping the eyes closed down, and ever so slowly find your way from your corpse pose into the side body and fetal pose, your transition, the beginning of your new creation. And press the hands into the earth and slowly walk your way back to your seat. And as you find your seat and your stillness, take the palms once more to turn down to connect inward. Running the hands the lengths of your legs. Take a grip over the ends of the knees and use that counterbalance to draw the spine nice and tall, creating length through the back of the spine, crown to the sky, chin down into chest. And Kālī, as I previously mentioned, has those 4 hands and the 2 left hands we work with. In one of those, she carries the human head, the Kapala, and the skull, or skull cup. With the other hand, on that left-hand side, that side of Shakti, that feminine energy side, she carries a sword. And that sword is symbolic of divine knowledge. And the human ego is to be slain by divine knowledge to allow us to eradicate the ego. And it's through divine knowledge and by divine knowledge, the path and the order in which we obtain moksha, liberation and enlightenment. And take the hands into prayer at heart center. And as we bow down here in honor, respect and reverence to that teacher that resides within us, that knows ultimately and intuitively that fullness of time and the beauty of all 3 phases. Let's inhale and draw to rise. And yogis, thank you for sharing the fullness of your time with me today. Namaste.